Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're here with Falcon tonight. He's a big, big boy, and he is fantastic. We're here to talk about his genetic code. We're going to play genetic detective with our lovely Rex buck. He's a big boy. So, genetic detective. First of all, when we play, we're dealing with the first 5 genes, A, B, C, D, and E series. With my Holland Lops, we also talked about the broken gene. The broken gene is not present in our Rexes. The broken gene is dominant. If any of our Rexes carried a single broken gene, it would show up. So since our Rexes do not carry a broken gene at all, not at all, we're not going to deal with it. So no broken gene. But let's talk about the rest of his genetic code and how lovely he is, because he is indeed lovely. So, the A series is first, okay? Here's such a beautiful boy. Okay, so the A series. The A is the agouti series. Agouti is, are you agouti? Are you tan? Or are you self or solid? Well, he's clearly not solid. But is he a tan or is he an agouti? Well, he's not tan because if he was tan, he would have tan-colored markings at the back of his neck. He'd have tan markings at his nose. Can you look at the camera? Tan markings on his nose, which he does not have. And he'd have tan underbelly markings. Well, he doesn't have that. However, he is agouti. And if you flip his fur up, let's see if we can bring him close to the camera. If you flip his fur, you can see it's actually got 3 different bands of color. Okay? It's tipped with black, and then it's got kind of a brown or a reddish color, and then it's got an undertone of cream. So if you look, it's hard to see. It's hard, I know, buddy. But it's hard to see, but he's got bands of color underneath. So he's got blacks. So there you go. He's got different colors of banding. He's got 3 colors. That is agouti. The tan rabbits are solid from the tip of the fur on their back all the way to the skin. He's not solid in that way. Okay? The tan rabbits have the tan markings but solid fur on their backs. He is agouti, so he has the banded tri-bands of fur. Yes, you do. Yes. However, he's not just agouti. So agouti is the most dominant in the A series. Next to that one is tan, and then below that one is the self or the solid. Now we know he carries the tan gene. We know he does because when we breed him to Delhi, who is our solid girl, when you breed him to Delhi, we get tans and agoutis. That means he's throwing both tan and agouti. So he is an agouti, okay? The B series is the base color. The base color is either black or brown. Now he's black. He is a black agouti, also called a castor. In Rexes, it's called a castor. So he's a castor. Okay? He is black, not brown. Even though he looks kind of reddish, that's because of the agouti gene separating out the color along the shaft, along the hair shaft. But he is actually black. However, we know he carries a recessive brown. Okay? So where his A series is AAT, his B series is a big B, little b. We know he carries brown because when you breed him to Delhi, he can produce somebody like Stump, who is a brown otter, a chocolate otter. So he carries a recessive brown, but he is a black rabbit. I know he doesn't look black, but he is a black rabbit. Color genetics are funky. So what about his C series? C series is the great color deleter. Okay, it's what is responsible for your red-eyed whites and for your, hi, you're beautiful, and your Himalayans and your chinchillas. Well, he is not any of that. He's just him. Just him. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for the kisses. You know I love you. He's just him. He, as far as we know, he does not carry any of the C series. But let's be honest, unless we bred him to someone with a chinchilla or a Himalayan or a red-eyed white gene, we actually wouldn't know. So because we haven't test bred him enough to rabbits that are confirmed to carry those genes, the proper way to write his C series is that. Okay? Because we actually don't know. We're guessing. I know. We're guessing, but we don't really know. Okay? So because we don't really know, we'll just adjust this down. We'll just adjust that down so we can see him a little better. But because we do not really know, we can't properly write it as this. Instead, it's that. Okay. How about his D series? The D series is the dilute. Dilute controls whether you look like him or whether you look like our other male, Silverado. Silverado is his color, sort of. He's actually the brown version. But he is also an agouti, but he's diluted, which means he is, instead of maybe being black, you're blue. Instead of being brown, you're lilac. So it's the dilute. It's the lighter color. He's not dilute. If you look at him, he's not dilute. But the non-dilute, the intense gene, is the dominant one. We do know he carries a recessive dilute. How do we know that? Well, some of his children, 2 of his children that from last year, were dilutes, which means he carries a dilute. He doesn't pass it all the time. In order for it to express, the mother he's bred to has to also pass it down, but he can pass it about 50% of the time. So he has this as his dilute series, his D series. So what about his E series? Well, the E series is the one responsible for moving the color around the body. It's the one that gives you steels, and he's not a steel. You would know if he was a steel because steel is the dominant one in the series. But beyond steel, it also has things like tort and harlequin. He's not either of those. He's just normal. The color on his body doesn't move around. So basically what the E does is it moves the black. So with the steel, it would move the black all the way out to his tips. With the, for example, tort, all the black would be on like his nose and his feet and all that. There would be a lot of different... Hi. He's a good rabbit. But there would be a lot of different ways that can express, but he doesn't have any of them. However, we don't actually know that. We know he doesn't have steel, but we don't know that he doesn't carry harlequin or tort unless we breed him to a female. Ow, that's scratchy. Unless we breed, what are we doing now? Unless we breed him to a female that has harlequin or tort. So we don't have a female Rex that has harlequin or tort, so there's actually no way to know if he carries that recessively. So properly we write his E series like that. So his completed series would be this. Okay? That's what it ends up being. That's his series. There are a couple that we don't know for sure, and that's okay. It's okay if we don't know everything. But he throws beautiful babies. He is going to be with our herd for many years to come, we hope. And I don't foresee a reason to sell him. I mean, he is worth a lot to us. So in order for somebody to purchase him, we'd be like, $1,000, please. And no one's going to pay that for a rabbit. I know, you're such a good boy. He is a good boy. He's one of our favorites, and he's Rowan's little buddy. So we definitely love this guy. He's not going anywhere. And he actually has impressive genetics. And he's the one that was injured, but he's all better now. So he's going to go back outside because he doesn't actually like being in the house, so he's getting a little squirrely. So we're going to put him back outside. Then we're going to give him dinner because he loves dinner and he's such a good boy. Anyway, that's about it for us here tonight at Andersen Acres. Drop any questions you have in the comments below and I will endeavor to answer them. We'll see you tomorrow.